Welcome to Ghouls Night Out with your hostesses, Brandy and Jody.
Hello, beautiful ghouls. Welcome. This is Brandy. I'm here with my sister, Jody. Hello. So, did you hear about the population of Ireland?
No.
It's Dublin.
Oh my god.
And that was my stupid joke for the week.
It's Dublin. I'm a cashew.
Oh my gosh, we're full of stupid jokes. Okay, so I kind of went a different way with my beginning stories, and I have people share satisfying times they've called people out for lying.
I like that.
Yeah. It's the best feeling. Okay, so first one. When I worked at a fast food joint, I once had someone call in during the opening shift while we were still prepping everything for the day. He starts telling me about how he was just here and how our service was terrible and how we got his order wrong. I asked him when exactly he came in, and he said, about a half an hour ago. I said, oh, that's weird because we don't actually open for another 45 minutes. He hung up without another word. Asshole. He's probably like, oh, I want this place. I'm going to call in and be a fucking asshole and lie.
You know, there's those people that will do stuff like that just to get free meals and stuff. I can't stand. We used to have me and my ex-husband used to have this friend, it's a couple, and they were friends. But we finally stopped going out to eat with them because everywhere we went, they would complain about something.
That's just petty.
Every time. I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
That's embarrassing for other people.
It is.
And it's petty, and it's just, what good comes out of that? I mean, seriously. What do they save? A couple bucks that they probably don't? Yeah, I don't like people. Yeah, people suck.
Yes.
This is a bunch of stories about how people suck.
Okay,
so next one. We're on a conference call. A supervisor was taking credit for all of the work that had been done on a cross-departmental project. In reality, he wasn't even part of the project. His subordinate, Craig, was. I called him out in front of about 40 people. I said that even Craig didn't really do any of the work. The real star of the show was Leslie, the intern assigned to help us, since she actually did 75% of the work on his behalf. The supervisor got fired several months later for some other unrelated issues. A lot of people on the call reached out to me afterwards to let me know that they were happy about what I did, and that made me happy.
Cool.
So yeah, good for you for saying something.
I can't stand people that take credit for other people.
Fucking bullshit.
That happened to me at my last job.
Are you serious?
Pissed me off. Yes.
That is bullshit.
It is.
Ugh. Next one, a lube technician at a Jiffy Lube once tried to convince me that I was in desperate need of a radiator service for a car that didn't have a radiator. He even showed me the pH strip to quote-unquote prove that the liquid had gone acidic. I told him that if he could show me the radiator, I'd cheerfully pay for the service. The expression on his face when he opened the car's hood and realized what I was getting at was pretty priceless.
That's great.
See, I wish I knew stuff about cars.
I know, me too.
That would be great, because I could be like, fuck you, I don't need this. Give me what I need, and I'll be on my way. Next one, I called someone out for lying this morning. It was my wife. She said she was going to clean up after herself last night, but the countertop proved that to be a lie. Oh, that's funny. Next one, I once called out a city councilwoman for lying live on the radio. I'm a public servant, and she lied about a government project that I had actually worked on, so I called up the radio station, giving a fake name, got on the air with her, and called her out for it. It was definitely fun. I once had a graphic designer apply for a job at my marketing firm using someone else's work in his portfolio. I asked him all about the work and the thinking behind the designs before I showed him the originals and the door. Next Next one, I was once in an auto shop waiting room watching one of my fellow customers angrily shouting at a guy behind the counter about how he had been waiting there for more than 2 hours. The shop manager just casually pulls out a piece of paper and calmly states, "We just printed the work order that you signed less than 30 minutes ago." Well played, Mr. Manager. Well played. Next one, we used to know this girl who would completely lie about the littlest things, so we were always kind of wondering if she was lying about other things too. Mainly, we wondered if she was lying about having epilepsy. Well, she faked a fit in front of a group of us once at a party. She started pretending to shake, fell dramatically to the floor, and so on. She then stopped, confirmed that people were looking and paying attention, and then continued.
Oh my God.
We told her to stop and that she was obviously faking it, and she left the party.
What?
Like, I mean, what would compel someone to need that much attention?
Obviously, she has issues.
That is extremely sad. If you're willing to go to that length, like, dude.
Yeah. Well, some people just have to have attention.
Well, get a dog. They love attention. They will give it to you all the time. Seriously.
But for a dog, you have to give them attention in return.
Yeah, I guess.
They just want attention.
Oh, that's just sad and pathetic. Like, dude. Oh my gosh. Anyway, okay. Next one, to make a long story short, my ex-girlfriend tried to prove to me that her ridiculous lie was a truth by creating a fake email account and using it to fabricate a quote-unquote forwarded email to me to supposedly prove that a certain made-up person and event were real. But I suspected her all along, and I came up with a plan to expose her. I copied the email address and tried to log into it and hit reset password, and it prompted me with a question Yahoo gives when resetting a password. Complete the phone number associated with the account. I put my ex's cell phone number in, and she miraculously got a reset text message at the exact same moment. That's when she finally admitted to the lie, in my eyes, to all of her previous suspected lies as well.
Wow.
Again, like, just when it's time to let go, just let it go.
Just don't do it in the first place.
Yeah, seriously, I mean, like, oh my gosh. Next one, I was at a music festival that requires guests to wear a white bracelet while the musicians are required to wear green ones. This random guy was trying to impress a female friend of mine. He was telling her that he was a musician that was playing a gig the next day and that she should come and watch. He was using the magician... Wait. When did we start talking about magic? I can't read. Oh my god, okay. He was using the magician... Oh my god. I really need to...
Why don't you take another drink, Brandy?
Oh my fucking god, I don't think I need to. Holy shit. We're not talking about magic. Oh my god, okay. Let's try this again. Hopefully I don't say fucking magician. Okay. He was using the musician thing to basically get her to like him. I was there with her the whole time listening to the guy. Finally, at the end of his long session of bragging and attempted flirting, I just bluntly asked him why he was wearing a general admission white bracelet instead of a green one. He was confused. I then explained to him how the bracelets worked. My friend and I had a nice little chuckle while he awkwardly walked away. Oh my gosh. All that for that. Okay, this one is a conversation, so bear with me. My ex-husband, quote, "No, I'm not having an affair." Me, "Well, then why do I have 200 pages worth of IMs, texts, and emails with explicit content sent between you and this girl?" Him, I was hacked." Me, "For 4.5 years." Him, "Yes." Me, How did the hackers get these 37 photos of you in the nude? Him, and I kid you not, he really said this, that's not me.
Oh my God.
Spoiler, it was definitely him. It clearly showed his unique birthmark, his pasty fatness, and every other disgusting feature about him. Nice try, hubby. Oh, God. Okay, next one. My best friend's favorite story is from when she was working at McDonald's. She was on drive-thru duty, and a guy came by complaining about some ice cream that he had purchased earlier. That's when everyone who worked there gathered around the window to watch. My friend casually let this person know that they haven't had a working ice cream machine at this location in over 4 months. The person had no reply. What a surprise. Next one. I was being evaluated for a job performance by a boss who clearly had an axe to grind with me. Naturally, she wrote up an unflattering report. She was not impressed when I went to her supervisor and brought up the fact that she had never actually observed me on the job, that her report had changed 3 or 4 times before the final one had come out, and that she had contradicted her previous report from only 3 months prior in her final one. It was painfully clear to everyone that the evaluation was completely biased, which I wonder what the fuck. So, some people just have problems with people for, no reason. Mm-hmm. What is that?
I don't know.
It's just, again, it's petty and stupid. I don't understand people.
I try not to.
Yeah. I don't care enough about anyone around me to, worry about, you do you, and I'll do me, and, okay.
People like to create drama.
I am not about that shit. That is, no.
Me neither.
That is not, just, no. Life's too short. Next one, I was waiting at a red light behind a red BMW. I happened to notice that its bumper was kind of messed up. The light turns green, and he starts going. I slowly begin to accelerate like any normal human. Then all of a sudden, he slams on his brakes, and I do the same. I didn't hit him at all. He then reverses directly into my car, turns on his hazards, and pulls into a parking lot of a nearby shopping complex. We exchange information, and I remain absolutely calm the entire time. Later at small claims court, after rejecting his claim on my insurance, this is a conversation. Him, yes, Your Honor, he rear-ended me and therefore owes me $5,000 in damages, including new paint job plus an additional $1,000 for emotional distress, as I have needed physical therapy ever since.
God.
Judge, looking over at me, and you say you have a video of the entire incident? Me, yes, sir, I do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hands DVD to bailiff. Dash cam video clearly shows his fraud. Judge, so is that you in the video? Him, He literally got arrested and had to pay me over $5,000 in damages.
Aww.
Get a dash cam, people.
Yes, I need to get me one.
I know. I was thinking about. I looked them up, and on Amazon, probably they're the cheapy ones, but I'm sure they're fine. They're like $40.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to get one.
I know. I was really thinking about it because if people do this kind of shit,
who even thinks to do something like that?
Seriously. It's bullshit. People suck.
Plus, you don't know what you might catch a cryptid or something.
Ooh, I'm getting one. I just got head chills. Okay. Next purchase. Next one. I created a binder for a hotel that my company owns, and filled it with forms and templates. I highlighted and wrote clear explanations of everything on each page. About a month later, I go over to the property to assist with some things, and the GM brings out the binder and says, "Yeah, I put this together as a tool for us here."
Oh my gosh.
I immediately tell him, "No, you didn't. I made that and gave it to you." His face went white as he tried to recover by saying, "Well, I added a few things."
What the fuck ever?
He didn't. I definitely loved the faces of my colleagues when I went back to the office and told them all about it.
Gosh,
What an asshole! I know.
Jeez.
The episode is full of these. That's what my next story is like. People like what the fuck people. I got more though. This one is long, so I must have. I don't know. I used to work for Comcast in their customer retention center. Oh, I remember this one. Okay. One call that I'll never forget was this college kid called up trying to cancel his service and was put on the line with me. The call went something like this. Me. Hi, welcome to Comcast. How may I help you? Him. Yeah, I need to cancel my service on this day. Me. I'm sorry to hear that. Have you considered not canceling? Obviously, this part was heavily abridged here. Him, nope, my semester's over and I'm moving back in with my parents in a city that doesn't have Comcast. Me, okay, no problem. I've gotten all that set up for you. Is there anything else that I can help you with today? Him, yeah, I need you to credit the last 6 months of service. Me, I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Him, now sounding agitated. Your lousy service didn't work, and I shouldn't have to pay for it. Credit it now.
Whatever.
Oh my God, I know. People used to call. I used to work in a call center. People do this shit. It's bullshit. Me, still confused. Why didn't you ever call into our technical support department in all that time? Him, I didn't have time. I was a college student. Me, so let me get this straight. Your service didn't work at all. Like if you turned on your TV at any point within the last 6 months, all that you would get is static. And it's been like that constantly since December. Him, that's what I've been saying. Me, then why, according to our records, did you rent a movie last night? He then nervously spurted out a bunch of incomprehensible gibberish, followed by a short apology, followed by hanging up. That is probably my favorite call in the entire 4 years that I have worked there.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh, that was my last one.
Oh, okay. I did Ghosts of West Virginia this week.
All right.
The first one is Lake Shawnee Amusement Park in Mercer County. In the late 1700s, there was a bloody altercation between a white settler named Mitchell Clay and the local tribe of Shawnee Indians. This resulted in the tragic death of 3 of the Clay children and a number of Shawnee warriors. Some say that these deaths have left a curse on the land. This may well be the case because in the 1920s, a local businessman bought the land and built the Lake Shawnee Amusement Park. Over the next couple of years, several people died in accidents at the park, and it ended up closing down in 1966. The abandoned remains of the park are now considered to be one of the most haunted locations in West Virginia. There are regular paranormal tours of the property, and many people have reported seeing apparitions of a man and a little girl dressed in pink. That would be creepy.
Yeah.
Going to an abandoned amusement park.
I know. I mean, just the simple fact, like even if it's kind of newly abandoned and there's just like nobody, no noise.
Well, yeah, when you go to an amusement park, it's loud and there's people everywhere, and that's how you're used to seeing it.
It's like, yeah, and just to have everything so still and just like dead. Oh my gosh, that'd be creepy.
Did you know Kings Island is haunted?
I did.
Yeah,
Ghost Hunters was that
who it was? Yeah. I know. I remember watching. I didn't realize it was Ghost Hunters now, but I was like, oh my gosh, I've been there before.
Yeah, Kings Island, for those who don't know, is an amusement park in Ohio that's like probably one of the closest amusement parks to...
Yeah, it's only a couple, 2-3 hours
Yeah,
away.
So, Kings Island is where we go when we want to go to an amusement park around here. And, yeah, it's supposedly haunted. A little girl in a blue dress is supposed to haunt it.
North Bend Rail Trail Tunnel number 19 in Ritchie County. The North Bend Trail extends for a total of 72 miles and is very popular with hikers, cyclists, and horseback riders. However, all of them need to make sure that they are particularly careful when navigating Tunnel number 9, which is also known as Silver Run Tunnel, as it is said to be extremely haunted. As far back as 1910, reports started to emerge of a young lady in a flowing white dress standing on the tracks. She was first seen by an engineer who brought his train to an abrupt halt, thinking he was going to hit her, but when he got out to look for her, she had gone, vanished into thin air. Over the years, many of his predecessors have experienced the same thing. It is not at all clear who she is or why she is haunting the tunnel. However, it is said that some human bones were uncovered under a house very close to the tunnel. If you want to go looking for this lady in white, then you are going to need a flashlight, even in the daylight, since the damp tunnel is 1,376 feet long and daylight does not penetrate it.
Oh my gosh.
That's a long-ass tunnel.
Yeah. So creepy. I wonder if she glows. Wonder if... Because if there's no light in that tunnel at all... Did it say she was like in the middle of the tunnel?
That's what it sounds like. Oh, no, wait. Yeah. I guess it's actually in the tunnel.
So if it's completely pitch black in there, right? Isn't that what you got from that?
Yeah.
She would have to have been glowing.
Well, if she's in white...
Oh, I guess they would have a light.
There's light on the train. I want to know why there's so many ladies in white everywhere.
Really. I know. Weird. They're all either wearing white or red.
Yeah. Weird. 22 Mine Road in Logan. What?
Magician. I'm sorry.
Mamie Thurman lived the life of a carefree flapper during the Prohibition era, but it seems that she may have thrown a little too much caution to the wind since she ended up being discovered dead on the lonely 22 Mine Road. A local handyman was charged with the murder, but most people believed it to be a well-known banker that Mamie had an affair with, who was the real murderer. Her body also disappeared, and there are no records of a burial. Perhaps this is why her restless soul is said to be haunting 22 Mine Road. She's often seen in search of justice and a final resting place. Lewisburg Historic District in Lewisburg. One thing that West Virginia seems to have in abundance is towns that are haunted as opposed to just single buildings. One such town is Lewisburg, in particular the Historic District. Visitors to the town say that late at night they hear moaning and cries of pain coming from the old stone church. Since the building served as a Civil War hospital, this is thought to be the spirits of wounded soldiers. The General Lewis Inn is also very haunted, and up to 3 spirits in residence, all of whom are tricky and mischievous. However, the most famous spirit here is an entity that is known as the Greenbrier Ghost. This is the ghost of Zona Hester Shuey, or Shue, I'm not sure, a lady who was murdered by her husband and who helped to convict him when appearing as a ghost.
What?
There is a story. You know that story. This was, I don't know, back in the day, but a man had a wife.
Exactly what you're talking about.
And he killed her. And then he left. And then a little boy, a neighbor or something, came to their house and found her. And remember her, he like strangled her or something.
Yeah.
And he had put a scarf on her.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't let anyone touch her.
Yeah. Anytime anyone wanted to touch her, he would like fall on her and start crying.
Yeah.
And
her ghost came to her mother. And her mother said something about it in court or something. I don't remember.
So they exhumed her body, I believe.
Yeah.
And looked at her neck.
Yes.
And she had strangulation shit going on.
Yep.
It's fucked up. It's so awesome.
I know.
See, how can anyone be skeptical?
I don't know.
This shit happens. It's real.
Droop Mountain Battlefield, Pocahontas County. Why would you name it Droop Mountain?
I don't know. That's a very good question.
It looks very depressed. Droop Mountain Battlefield has become a memorial commemorating West Virginia's final significant battle during the Civil War. On November 6, 1863, Brigadier General William Averill's Union troops staged a crushing victory over the Confederates during the South into what is now Virginia. The site became a national park in 1929 as a memorial to those who lost their lives here. Since then, visitors have been reporting a variety of paranormal activity, including the sound of galloping horses and sightings of a headless Confederate soldier and another soldier who was napping against a tree. Okay. Harper's Ferry in Jefferson County. The town of Harper's Ferry is well known for its ghosts. In fact, some of the hauntings are said to go back hundreds of years. There are various buildings around the town which have a spooky story or two attached to them, making Harper's Ferry one of the most haunted towns in West Virginia. One of the most popular tales involves a female spirit in 18th century style attire who is often seen looking down at people from the window of Harper House. There are often tales of several spirits, including wounded soldiers and an old priest who are said to haunt St. Peter's Catholic Church, which was used as a hospital in the Civil War. However, the most common experience is for visitors to hear the distant strains of fife and drum music, which is said to be the Phantom Army performing some marching drills.
That is the creepiest, to hear like phantom music.
Yeah.
This is so scary. And I don't even know. You know how they have been having live concerts on Main Street here in town?
Yeah.
The other day I heard it. I was like, what is that? It's like, where's this music coming from?
Did you check your dishwasher?
Huh? Oh.
Morgantown, Magnolia County. No, Monongalia County.
That's interesting.
Morgantown stands on the site of the famous Decker's Creek Massacre, which occurred back in 1759. A total of 8 settlers were brutally slaughtered by Delaware Indians in approximately the center of what is now the city of Morgantown and home to West Virginia University. With so much blood staining the land, it is no surprise that there are literally spirits wandering the streets of Morgantown. The university in particular seems to attract plenty of paranormal activity, with many of its buildings reported to be haunted. The most famous of the on-campus ghosts is probably the spirit of Elizabeth Moore, who was the original founder of the institute from which the university grew. Blennerhassett Hotel in Parkersburg. Blennerhassett Hotel in Parkersburg is one of the most haunted buildings in West Virginia. The Queen Anne-style building is reportedly haunted by William Chancellor, who was responsible for building the property in the late 1800s. Guests staying at the hotel have claimed to encounter the ghosts of children playing in the hallways, and others say they have seen a man dressed in a tuxedo in the mirrors. Staff at the hotel also say that mysterious knocking and other unexplained sounds are fairly commonplace. The hotel even offers ghost tours as part of their haunted Parkersburg package deal. I wonder how far away West Virginia is.
I don't know. You want to go?
I might.
Road trip.
West Virginia Penitentiary in Moundsville.
What was that?
Shut up. West Virginia Penitentiary opened back in 1875, and it is widely regarded as being in the one of
Oh my gosh, we have issues tonight. Big time.
And it is widely regarded as being one of the most haunted prisons in the United States. It is definitely one of the most haunted places in West Virginia. This prison has seen it all over the years, including several riots, fires, and over 100 executions. Even before it was closed, prisoners and guards experienced paranormal activity in the building, and it has only escalated since the prison ceased operation. Now visitors tend to see phantom inmates and shadow men, along with unexplained noises, cold spots, disembodied voices, and agonizing screams.
Oh my god, no.
This is not a place for the faint of heart, that is for sure.
Yeah.
There are regular tours of the prison which offer the opportunity to check out the electric chair that has been nicknamed Old Sparky. The bravest souls can also participate in an overnight stay.
Oh my gosh, I wonder how far away it is. We should look it up. Where's it at?
It's in Moundsville, West Virginia.
I'm doing it.
And my last one is Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in Weston.
Holy shit! This
Yeah.
state.
The Gothic stone structure that is Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum is somewhat infamous in the paranormal community. Even looking at it from the outside, you would probably assume that it is haunted just based on how it looks. The building certainly lives up to expectations. This is without a doubt one of the most haunted places in the state. Construction of the asylum began in 1858, and originally it was built to house just 250 patients. However, the facility reached its peak at around 2,400 patients in the 1950s, at which time they were terribly overcrowded and living in extremely poor conditions. It closed down in 1994 and reopened as a tourist location. It is now considered to be one of the most haunted locations in West Virginia, with visitors reporting all manner of unexplained activity, including horrific screams, shadow figures, and slamming doors.
Horrific screams.
Yes.
Oh my god. West Virginia. See, I can't say it either.
It's a hard thing to say.
It is hard. Anyway, the penitentiary we were talking about is 4.5 hours away. That's it. That's pretty close.
That's not that far. Okay, and I added some monsters of West Virginia.
Ooh, yay.
So, the most famous one, I'm sure you've all heard, is the Mothman.
Oh, yes.
On November 16th, 1966, two young couples in Point Pleasant reported seeing a large, man-sized creature with wings and red glowing eyes. The creature reportedly chased their car at upwards of 80 miles per hour from the outskirts of town to downtown. Sightings continued in the area until December 15, 1967, when the Silver Bridge connecting Point Pleasant to Gallipolis, Ohio, collapsed. The Mothman was never spotted in Point Pleasant again, but continues to be popular among West Virginia folklore.
Yep, that's craziness. Could you imagine how fucking scary seeing someone like
You know
that?
what's freaky to me is that it was seen in that amount of time and then nothing.
Yeah, like
That's what's weird to me.
Yeah.
Because usually things like that, people will say they, here and there.
Right.
But there's been nothing since then. So there had to been something there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking anyway. The Beast of Grafton. In June of 1965, a terrifying creature was spotted in Grafton. Witnesses claim that the beast had white hair and stood 9 feet tall and 4 feet wide.
What?
Some believed it was a polar bear, but the most peculiar thing about the creature was that it reportedly had no head. There were over 20 confirmed sightings of the beast, and it is still unexplained to this day.
What?
No head? That's weird.
And
that thing was huge.
Huge. What was it called?
The Grafton, or the Beast of Grafton.
That's beyond, and I've never heard of that before.
I haven't either. Flatwoods Monster. In September of 1952, several residents of Flatwoods reported seeing a bright object soar across the sky and land on a nearby farm. Terrified, they gathered several others and sought to discover what the flying object could be. As the group came down the hill onto the farm, one of them shined a light on what could only be explained as a tall, man-like figure with a round red face surrounded by a pointed hood shape. The creature reportedly hissed at the group, causing them to retreat in fear. Paranoia ran rampant throughout the town, and the legend of the Flatwoods Monster began. Today, the city of Flatwoods has giant chairs in the shape of the monster placed in different areas of town to celebrate the legendary sightings.
Aww. That's crazy.
That's weird.
I'm sorry, I know that's
it's probably just
horrifying, but
person in a hood with a mask on. It's like
why
hissing
did he
at him.
Hiss at him?
I don't know. That's weird.
Some people are weird. A lot of people are weird.
And then we got the Mega Sloth.
Oh.
One of the more interesting creatures is the megasloth. There isn't much known about the sloth now, but it is worth noting that West Virginia's official state fossil is the Megalonyx jeffersoni. I think that's how you say it. Otherwise known as Jefferson's ground sloth. Thomas Jefferson was quite enticed with the discovery of a megasloth whose fossils had been discovered in West Virginia.
A mega sloth?
Mega
So like a
sloth.
giant?
That's what it sounds like. That's all I got.
Have you seen the pictures on Facebook of the baby sloth? Do you think that's real?
I don't know if I've seen it or not.
I don't know
Why
if
wouldn't it be real?
it's entirely too cute not to be fake.
Oh.
It's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, if you think about it, anything that's a baby is cute.
But this thing is looking directly into the camera, and I swear to God, it's smiling. It's the cutest shit I've ever seen. It's so cute. I don't know, it makes me think it's fake. Anyway, okay, so I did, again, stupid people who, like, what the fuck? It's horrified guests reveal the worst weddings they've ever attended.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's, oh my gosh, okay. First one. I went to a wedding where it actually had a rule that guests weren't allowed to directly talk to the bride. Her mom and maid of honor were the only ones allowed to.
I'd leave right then.
All of these
I'd leave all of them.
Well, some of them are funny.
Oh.
I went to a coworker's wedding where the maid of honor admitted to being the quote-unquote other woman that the groom had been cheating with for months. The bride ran out in tears. The groom immediately tried to salvage the ceremony by asking the maid of honor to become the new bride.
Oh my gosh.
She refused.
He deserves a punch in the face.
Oh my God, absolutely. Next one. Nobody had even said speak now yet, but the groom's ex still decided to get up and scream out that that he was her soulmate, that she forgave him for quote unquote this whole thing, and that they should just leave now because he'd proven his point. By breaking up with her 5 years earlier, falling in love with someone else, and holding a wedding.
5 years?
Oh, honey.
She is off her rocker.
Oh my gosh.
She needs some help.
Absolutely. Next one. The father of the bride had been pretty absent after divorcing her mom. He had remarried and gotten involved with a controversial religious group. I smell cult. His new wife was not invited to the wedding, but the father came and seemed like he was there to be supportive, until he stood up during the vows and proclaimed that my friend was, quote unquote, a pig just like her mother.
Oh my gosh.
And that the groom should get out while he can, because the bride was a quote unquote soul leeching succubus.
Oh my god.
What an asshole. Why would you, like, why?
Just,
oh my God. Next one. I'm supposed to be a maid of honor at my best friend's wedding, but she told me that since I'm ugly, she won't let me be in any pictures. I've never been so insulted in my life. You think? Bye, bitch. Oh my God.
how could someone say that to another person?
Obviously, this person has, like, no feelings whatsoever for anybody else ever. People
and
are
you know
assholes.
what's probably the real truth is that the person she called ugly probably looks better than her, and she didn't want them in her picture.
She didn't want them over, what's the word I'm looking for?
To show her up or whatever.
Yeah, exactly it. What a bitch. Next one. One day after her wedding, a friend I went to school with went on a rampage on Facebook about how none of her friends showed up to her big day, and the ones who did show up didn't dance or participate in anything at the reception. She blasted everyone and made her wedding party feel bad because she spent too much money on unnecessary things that no one used, mainly the photo booth and tons of rented costumes and accessories to use in the booth.
Oh my god.
She made a second post an hour later complaining about how all of the people had stopped her to take pictures and didn't let her enjoy her party. It was hilarious to watch the comments flood in from people who went and were angry, and a few requested their gifts back. The kicker here is that a former classmate, someone who has a lot of mutual friends with the bride, lost his infant son earlier that week.
Aww.
The baby's services fell on the same day as the wedding. Most of the people she was complaining about for not coming had opted to go to the child's funeral service instead of her wedding. She lost a lot of respect and a lot of friends in 2 hours.
Yeah.
What a fucking bitch. What a fucking bitch. This story is of a groomzilla. The bride would set out a list of tasks for him to complete. Then the second she was out of earshot, he would turn to one of the planners and say, "You heard her, get it done." He was also just generally useless, coming to meetings late, always getting drunk with the groomsmen, and expecting his bride to handle all the work herself. Run, girl.
Yes, run as fast as you can.
Next one. I was at a friend's shotgun wedding. He was forced to marry this girl whom he had impregnated because she thought that expired aspirin was acceptable alternative birth control. During the ceremony, his cousin objected with something along the lines of, "Come on, man, the dummy was using expired aspirin as birth control. You want to spend your life with someone like that?" There was laughter, shock, and even some mild applause from the audience. I personally laughed until I cried. Like, fucking, come on! Seriously?
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Okay, next one. A couple I knew were getting hitched, and I had no warning that his mom was totally crazy. She rolls up to the rehearsal late and proceeds to be inappropriate at dinner. I have to escort her out. The next day, she cancels most of the guests and catering in protest, then eventually assaults the bride's dad, who was dying of cancer, and the cops were called.
Oh my gosh, what is wrong with people?
Seriously, it's got to be mental issues. It has to be.
There's that many people with mental issues?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I know, it's scary. Next one. We held my wedding at my grandmother's house out of the country next to a cattle farm. No animal had made a peep the entire time. Then, at the precise moment when the priest asked for any objections, a cow loudly went moo. We all laughed and continued with the ceremony. Next one. I'm a commercial photographer, and my best friend since childhood asked me to photograph his twin sister's wedding because they didn't have the budget for an expensive wedding photographer. So I figured out my costs to tell them I would do it for a break-even fee of $400, about 1/4 of what others would pay, and they agreed. On the wedding day, the bride starts panicking because she doesn't have her checkbook. She promises to pay cash later instead. I follow them around from 9:30 a.m. to 1 a.m., hearing from both the bride and the groom that they got enough cash as gifts to pay me later on. They never did. A week later, I'm about 10 hours into what would become 30 hours of editing, 250 final photos, and still no money, bills for my expenses coming due. I text them, no reply. Turns out they took off on a month-long honeymoon in Europe. I had to call up her dad to get payment from him instead. No one ever even bothered to thank me for doing them this favor. My buddy and I now have a strained relationship as of the result of the whole ordeal. I don't shoot weddings or offer friend discounts anymore, with no exceptions.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I know, you can't do business with friends. You can't live with friends.
Nope.
It just fucks it up every time.
It does.
Next one. At the speak now part, my cousin Bobby stood up and said, "I object." My uncle immediately yelled out, "Shut the heck up, Bobby." Everyone laughed and my cousin sat down. We never did find out what he was planning to say.
He was probably just drunk.
Yeah, he was probably like,
Well, there's Bobby again. Sit down.
Shut the heck up, Bobby. Next one, I was my sister's maid of honor. During a peak planning time, our aunt passed away.
Aww.
I kept trying to get in touch with my sister that entire day. When I finally reached her, I explained that I had been trying to speak with her all day to let her know that our aunt had died. I got blasted about how busy she is, and then she ripped into me about where I stood with my tasks. She was pretty rotten on the day of the wedding, too. We are no longer close. That's sad. So she obviously didn't give a shit.
Yeah, apparently not.
That's rude.
Yep.
Next one. At my cousin's wedding, everything had been going great. Then all of a sudden, his son from a previous marriage interrupts the vows to announce that the bride had been cheating on his dad with their drug dealer and that he can't let his dad marry her. My other cousin yelled at the son to either sit down or leave. The son left and the wedding continued. 5 years and one baby later, he finds out it was all true.
Oh.
They are no longer together.
Wow.
Fucked up.
Yep.
Next one, I was my sister's maid of honor and her unpaid wedding planner, and she was a bridezilla. Not only did I plan and pay for her wedding shower, but she also wanted a private gift from me from her super expensive registry where I couldn't afford a darn spoon. Everything had to be perfect and meticulously planned, right down to our toes, weight, and how much we ate and drank.
Wait.
This is what it says. She's a micromanager by personality. The marriage didn't end up even lasting 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
God. I went to a friend's wedding, and during the reception, his mother, an abusive alcoholic, got up to give an impromptu speech. She said, "I can't believe that my son is marrying that horrible loser. She's going to ruin his life." The groom ripped the microphone out of her hand, then yelled at her and asked her to leave. For the record, the bride turned out to be an incredible person.
Oh.
What a bitch.
Yeah.
Next one, my stepbrother's wife-to-be waited until my dad flew in for their destination wedding and greeted them at the airport with, "We need $12,000 for the location or there's no wedding tomorrow." Over 150 people had flown in for this wedding, many of whom couldn't actually afford to go, but came anyway because she bullied and degraded them into going into debt to attend. What the fuck?
I don't know what is wrong with people.
She just needs to be, punched in the face.
Yes.
Big time. Okay. I used to be an audio engineer at a small chapel that held weddings. At one of them, a woman stood up, dramatically trying to share an objection. I wasn't expecting this, so I didn't have any sound system or microphones hooked up that would have picked up what she was saying for the whole room to hear her clearly. Nobody other than those around her knew what she was saying. Before I could even think of what to do, someone shouted out, "Don't you listen to nothing she has to say. You two go ahead and get married." The whole room laughed and the ceremony continued. Next one, I objected at a small wedding in Vegas. I was drunk and had already voiced my opinion the night before to the bride-to-be. I told her that her future husband would probably end up back in jail and leave her to raise all those kids alone. His friends yelled at me when I made my little speech. Fast forward a year, he is now in prison for robbery, and she is alone.
Imagine that.
That's crazy. Okay, next one. Best man professed his love for the groom. It was a lot of awkward laughing and trying to play it off as a joke.
Oh my god.
Painful. And my last one, my grandpa was getting remarried and for some reason insisted that the wedding be held in an ancient dilapidated hotel in western Pennsylvania. He grew up near there, so I guess it had sentimental value or something. Well, this hotel happened to be adjacent to a creepy old amusement park, which was hosting a giant Halloween party the night of the wedding.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
I know. The entire ceremony was marred by blood-curdling screams and chainsaws and moaning people splattered in fake blood wandering outside the wedding hall the entire time.
That's my kind of wedding.
I know. That's why I made it my last one. So those were mine for the week.
Cool. Okay, it's time for witty wrap-up.
Yay, witty wrap-up.
I did funny thoughts.
Okay.
So this is just, you
Like
know...
random shower thoughts?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, yeah. If you step on someone's foot, they open their mouth, just like a garbage bin.
Oh my God. That's pretty funny.
Pregnant women are the only true bodybuilders.
That's right.
Searching for a new laptop online is basically forcing your current computer to dig its own grave.
Oh, that's sad.
Poor computer. What if the spider I killed in my bedroom lived his whole life thinking I was his roommate and died wondering what brought on this psychotic break?
Oh, shit.
I don't care, it's a spider.
I know. It'd be like, Steve, dude, what are you doing?
Why the hell is there an S in the... Okay. Why in the hell is there an S in the word lisp? There are two kinds of people. Some wash their dishes because they just ate. The others wash their dishes because they are just about to eat.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yep.
Interesting, isn't it, that takeout refers to food, romantic dating, and assassination.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's funny.
My head is very slowly 3D printing my hair.
That's funny.
Sweater is a pretty disgusting name for a piece of clothing. I and Bill Gates have a combined fortune of approximately $80 billion.
Nice.
How does the non-stick coating stick to the pan? If you're waiting to be served in a restaurant, shouldn't you be called the waiter?
Wait, say that again.
If you're waiting to be served in a restaurant, shouldn't you be called the waiter?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It would be very nice if the car navigation voice would get more and more excited as you got closer to your destination.
That would be great.
That'd be
Oh my
cool.
God.
You'd pull up and you'd be like,
So exciting every time. You'd feel like a dog. Because everything is exciting.
The goal of golf is to play as little golf as possible.
That's right. That's funny.
Yep. Are those who sneeze the most blessed? If weights became invisible, a gym would turn into a slow motion disco. Has a giraffe ever smelled its own fart?
Oh, I wonder. It's a good question.
Is a paper cut the tree's way of getting back at you?
Ooh, maybe. I had a paper cut this week and it sucked.
They hurt so bad.
I know. It's finally healing.
I wonder what dirty talk looks like in sign language.
Ooh, that's a good question.
The devil shakes a pitchfork, the grim reaper swings a scythe, so is farming a big thing in the underworld? When a pregnant woman takes a bath, she becomes a human submarine.
That's really funny. Oh my gosh.
When you go to sleep at 4 a.m., is it going to bed late or early? If snails are so slow, how come nobody sees them coming? It's always like, bam, there's a snail. It's true.
It is.
I was in the living room and I look in the kitchen and my cat is staring at something.
Oh my gosh.
And I go in the kitchen and I look around and I'm like, what are you staring at? And I keep looking around. I leave the kitchen. He's still in there staring. I go back in there. There's this huge snail
Oh my gosh.
on the side of my trash can. It was like, I swear, it was like 4 or 5 inches long. Oh my God, it was so gross.
Oh my gosh. What'd you do?
I got Peyton.
Oh. Oh my gosh. You sound like me. I'm like, Joel.
I was like, Peyton, come here. Get it. This one I did not get.
Okay.
A stick is just a stick when you've unstuck it from a tree.
I guess if it's not on a tree, it's a branch. What?
Okay, good. I don't feel so stupid now. Okay.
Hey.
Feet smell and noses run. It wasn't that funny. I really thought it was.
Why is it so funny to me?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. Feet smell and noses run.
I think you don't need any more to drink.
It has nothing to do with that. I think that's hilarious. I don't know why. That's funny.
If you live in the U.S., the driveway to your house is one way or the other connected to everyone else's driveway.
Wow, why? I don't get it.
Because your driveway is connected to the road. And the road goes in front of all the houses, so it's all connected.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. Is the dog fetching the stick for you just because he thinks you love throwing it?
Oh, I wonder. That's a good question. I think he wants you to throw it again.
Yeah.
I think selfish.
Exactly. If I touch my phone in the right places, someone comes and brings me a pizza.
Yay, that's right.
Legs are like arms to your butt.
What?
Your legs are your arm butt. No, your butt arms.
What? Okay, why does your butt need arms and there's no hands? So how is it arms?
Don't know.
There's feet, so it's legs. What?
It's your butt arms, okay?
Okay.
We all have puke in our stomachs.
Ew!
What if your dog realized you contain loads of bones?
Oh my gosh, Cujo.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, that's...
You know that moment when you're in the shower and it suddenly hits you? Oh no. If something terrible were to happen right now, I'd have to run outside naked.
I think about that quite often.
I do too.
Oh my gosh.
From the viewpoint of chairs, humans are mainly butts. If chairs had viewpoints, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
The first parents ever to have identical twins must have been really confused.
I wonder who the first twins
I
were.
don't know.
Or identical twins.
The Titanic's sinking was a true miracle to the lobsters in the kitchens.
I mean, like, what?
Because the lobsters went back into the ocean.
Oh, so they would be alive.
Yes.
Okay.
Youngest person alive, that must be a world record that gets broken the most often.
Yeah.
If every person on Earth blinked at the same time, nobody would ever find out.
That's stupid.
Nutella's greatest achievement was successfully convincing people that chocolate is a good idea for breakfast as long as you put it on bread. If I think and dream in my voice, could it mean that my dog thinks in his own barks?
Oh, weird.
I wonder on how many animals' backs did we humans have to jump until we found that horses are okay with it. Let's try this one. Anything in America is within walking distance. It only depends on how much time you have.
I guess that's true.
When you clap, you hit yourself repeatedly because you like it. And my last one, I'd love to know how the phrase "when the shit hits the fan" came into being, with dates, names, and pictures. That's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Rate, review, subscribe wherever you listen. Send in your stories, please.
Please.
We haven't gotten one for a long time, and I know you guys have them, and we want to hear them, and all you guys want to hear them, so send them in. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter.
It can be anonymous.
Yeah. Say, hey, don't say my name, and we won't say your name at all. And, I mean, like anything. Something crazy has happened to you, and we want to know what it is.
Yes, please.
Also, I wanted to say, do you remember, it was a long time ago, like one of our first episodes, I mentioned synesthesia? I think it's where they don't see in 3D.
Oh, yeah.
One of either that or they see sound. I don't know which one it is, but I was talking about it on one of our early episodes. Mm-hmm. Well, the podcast Other People's Lives just put out an episode of a woman who has it.
Oh, really?
I haven't listened to it yet, obviously, because I don't even know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to talk about it after I listen to that episode, and we're going to discuss because that is craziness, and it's either like anything. I want to know if you're allergic to something crazy. I want to know if you got something crazy going on, like you can't see in 3D. That's insane. Or if you see sound, that would be crazy too. I want to know. Email us, schoolsnightoutpodcast@gmail.com. Look us up on Facebook. We post some funny stuff. I posted the aura pictures, but nowhere else. So, yeah, there's that. But anyway, we'll talk to you next week.
Later.
Bye.